I heard via your shit, both an article and a tweet, that LeBron James has opted in to his player decision contract for $52 million. Congrats to him. That's a lot of money. Way to go. And then we also, I believe, continue to read on to this entire thing that they're evaluating the Lakers and they understand that there's not a few years left. Here's the exact quote. LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss, who now has sold the team, and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that and are supportive and want what's best for him. Okay, so there's a lot that's said there, but basically, after reading it, I found myself thinking, oh, he's doing the same thing as like what Giannis is doing. Is that an accurate depiction of what's going on with these two superstars? And how real is any of the conversation about Lakers and LeBron splitting potentially?
Similar situation in terms of like both players are evaluating, seeing what moves are made. Both players want to compete for a championship, want to win a championship. But I think dissimilar in this way. LeBron James is 40 years old. He's going to be 41 years old in December. He knows whether it's one season left, 2 seasons left, his time in the NBA is nearing its end. And obviously, as Rich Paul made clear in his comments to me yesterday, they are prioritizing trying to compete in a quote-unquote realistic way to win a championship. And behind the curtains of all that, what you can see is LeBron James, where he's at in his career, he's got 1, maybe 2 years left in his career. He wants to end his career on his terms to an extent. He wants to finish, and end.
Oh, he froze up. Don't talk about him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Trucks, boy.
Sorry. Yeah, we lost you there a little bit. You were about to say he wants to.
He wants to end. Clearly, he wants to end his career on his terms, his way, as far as competing for a championship, trying to realistically have a chance to win a championship. And I think in those comments that we saw from Rich Paul, an understanding that the Lakers are moving younger, they're moving toward the future, and prioritizing Luka Doncic really as they should. And from what I gather, LeBron James understands where the Lakers are at in their position. As far as Luka Doncic is the face of this franchise for the next 5 to 10 years, that's who's going to be the face. And so he understands that they're prioritizing that. I don't think he's really asking for them to like change their ways or like bring him back into the fold as the face of the franchise or give him an extension. I think a lot of people can see there what's going on. And so he wants to finish at the highest level in his career, play at the highest level. And whether that's in LA, whether that's going elsewhere, I mean, clearly that depending on how the Lakers free agency period goes, what they're able to do in free agency, obviously they want a center. They're dealing with Dorian Finney-Smith. He opted out of his player option at $15.4 million. If they lose him, what wing do they get to replace him? So what moves do the Lakers make in the offseason where LeBron James looks at it and is like, you know what? My best chance to win a championship is right here. And I think those are hard conversations that they're going to have next week, the week after that, and at some point in July for real.
Okay, those quotes came from Rich Paul, who's obviously agent, entrepreneur, maybe the greatest hustler in the history of the United States of America. I saw some clips of him talking to Matt Ishbia, chit-chatting about what could happen in the draft, him making some calls that ended with Kaman Maluak ending up with the Phoenix Suns. So, I mean, Rich Paul, obviously legend, and whenever he says something, there's obviously a reason behind it, and a meaning, we would assume, especially if you're reporting it at this exact time. And Giannis doing the same thing. I think this is kind of a normal thing in the NBA? Did we expect this from LeBron, this type of... And is Luka not... how's Luka feel about all this stuff?
Luka Doncic was made aware, him and his circle were made aware before this came out. But what I would say is it is unusual to an extent because, I mean, players have options all the time. I mean, you're either going to opt in and you're working toward a trade, or you're set in your situation, or you're opting out and you're a legitimate free agent. In this situation, LeBron James had $52.6 million player option. Of course, he's going to opt into that. When you look at the marketplace, there are only a couple teams with true max salary space, and that's Brooklyn. Charlotte's got some money. Detroit's got some money. But there's not, are those teams really LeBron James teams? Probably not. And so LeBron James had really one choice, and that was to opt in. And from there, evaluate what the best fit is. And listen, we know he's going to play 23 NBA seasons. That much we know. We don't know if he's going to play more than one more season. That's still something I'm sure he, his family, they've all got to decide. But the one thing we do know now is that he's evaluating how he wants to finish his career, where he wants to finish his career. Is it going to be in LA? And again, the Lakers have this upcoming week, the next 2 weeks. There's free agency, there's trades. This is a very busy moment. And Rob Pelinka, the president of basketball operations, he just got Luka Doncic in February. That's a trade, obviously, that's going to go down in the history books. So clearly, he's not immune to wheeling and dealing. This is what he does. But again, these next 2 weeks, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the thought of D-Bud's got a follow-up there.
Yeah.
You talked about the money thing. Would that be if he was to opt out, then he becomes a free agent, then those people would have to pay?
Well, that's the thing. If you opt out of $52.6 million and there's only 3 teams with that type of salary cap space, right? You're probably not going to go to those 3 teams. After that, you're just looking at mid-level exception type deals, and that's around $15 million a year. So, the people that are like, oh, if you wanted to just leave, to opt out and then sign for $15 million, sacrificing $40 million.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting business move from somebody that's a very business person. D-Buck, go ahead.
Any business savvy person doing that, but who knows?
You mentioned Brooklyn and Detroit there. Are those the only, I guess, realistic options for even if you could move players? I saw people saying Cleveland, but they would have to do too much being in the second apron. So are those the only 2 realistic landing spots potentially for LeBron?
We don't know how it's going to play out, but in the event or in a scenario where it does lead to him on, in free agency, at that point he could, it could be really anything. It could be a minimum. It could be a exception. I think that becomes secondary, right? Like at that point, if there is a resolution, it's about just figuring out what spot.
Yeah, he already tweeted about wanting to be a Pacer. So
really?
I don't know what we're talking about. He already said, I want to play with Tyrese Halliburton. He said anybody would, and he was obviously a part of anybody.
Man,
so
Mrs. Miami.
I don't know, because chocolate chip cookies have actually been wait till he tries the chocolate chip cookies out here in Indiana. If LeBron James is moving, obviously that would be a huge ordeal, and we would all be pumped up that are in sports media for us to talk about sports every single day. We would be very thankful for that type of thing.
But the one thing, though, that makes this interesting is this is really, Pat, like a partnership, right? Like the Lakers, LeBron James, they've been together for 7-8 seasons now. That's and great. He won a championship there. He won 2 conference finals there. Before he got there, they weren't a playoff team. He gets there. Obviously, they get Anthony Davis. They become a perennial contender year after year. So that partnership, that relationship, that's why these conversations, that's why you have open, direct dialogue between both sides. Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, Rich Paul from an agent level, from a representative level, LeBron James himself. Just at the draft, like the Lakers just drafted Adu Thoreau, a big man in the second round. They moved up to go draft him. That's a Clutch Sports client. So just because of whatever's going down here or what the statements are that we're seeing, and LeBron James clearly wants to finish his career on his own terms and wants to make the best decision for himself, just like the Lakers are making the best decisions for themselves. Those both can be true while the 2 sides can conduct business together.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see how it all works out.